Yeah, also guys, welcome to another analysis, another BTC analysis. Guys, what we are seeing right now is that BTC is currently in a ranging market. All right. When I mean ranging market, I mean trying to accumulate enough liquidity before we continue the move upwards. Now, this is a pattern that BTC normally creates each time it wants to um, have massive move downwards or massive move upwards. It either creates something like a bullish flag or it creates something like a flag or a pennant or a wedge. Either of these three, these are or a channel. Though most times it's going to be a wedge or flag. That is basically mostly what it will create before you make a massive move. Now this is the forward time frame, but before I go down into market structure and levels we are looking at, I want you to pay attention to something. Let me just remove this trend line, then show you what is actually happening on the larger scale. Now, what we are seeing right here is that we are seeing BTC, all right, after a massive rally, all right. Wow, we started to see BTC moving inside an enclosed range. Now, basically, what I say is going to happen here is that BTC is going to come down to test this trend line over here because we already have series of touch over here. Then with this massive push over here, giving this area a valid zone to map out, a channel trend line. So we can see that what we are seeing is something, or we're going to see something like this. Then we'll see this maybe coming back down to this place, then we'll see a breakout. This is basically what I see on the larger scale of things. All right, now let's zoom in a little bit and let's take this out. Now let's take a look at market structure using our golden zone strategy. Now, I already told you guys that this over here is from the daily structure, right? This is from the daily structure. So giving this area a valid level of area of demand or a demand zone. So if you are to check from this demand zone all the way to this swing, then this consolidation, you see that what everything that is happening here is just an inducement. I already made a video about inducement, so you might want to check the video up here and see what I talked, how I explain inducements, and to understand what is actually happening here. So what we are seeing right here is that markets did this, came here, did had a breakout structure over here, then we start to see some kind of inducements, market or engineered liquidity, whatever you want to call it. So what I say usually, like I said, is that my price is going to come down. First of all, we might see price come into 102,000, that is 102,000, then we'll see a pump. It will seem as if the price wants to break and create new high, but no, it will come down into 98k. So 98k is basically what I'm seeing BTC is going. Then before we will now see the major push upwards. Now, why I also believe this is possible, or why I also believe that what is happening here is just inducements, is because if you look at all these movements over here, like from this swing high to this new all-time high, you see that price attempted to create a new high, it failed, came down, affected, failed, it came down, manipulated, it also failed. This high did not take out this one, obviously did not take out this one as well. Then it came down again, then it went all the way up. We took this trade which I shared in my previous video, the close TP1 over here, then TP2 around 105 300 thereabouts. Then it came down again, creating another failed swing high, because this one did not take this, it didn't take out any of this. So we'll see liquidity accumulating over here. Now we might see another inducement over here, which I just talked about. Then we'll see the massive crash downwards, then before we will not see the major move. So this might not actually go that high, maybe just to this point. Because why? Because we have an internal liquidity somewhere around this level, which might drop price just a little bit upwards. But even if it doesn't go upwards, the major thing to take note here is that BTC could go down to 98k or 99k. All right, then before we see a massive run. So if you are doing anything here, you might want to really understand what time frame you are looking at, so that you know how long you are holding your trades. You don't want to be in a long position over here and plan to hold your trade for 3 days, 4 days. No, you might want to take profits, keep your target very small, and you just target small amounts of profits and get out of the market. So these are two liquidity that BTC is targeting: 102,000, then 98k. So this is basically my analysis on BTC. So let's just see how it goes. About gold, we are currently in a long position on gold. So maybe I'll drop a separate analysis on that, maybe like tomorrow or next. But this is basically what's going to happen to BTC in the coming days. So stay safe, guys, and do have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye.